Good evening, folks. Welcome to another social equity deep dive. Once again, I'm Dimitri Downing. Excuse the casualness today, but we just got to get things done. So again, nice to have another wonderful member of the cannabis community volunteer their time today to introduce themselves and give us a few little details about some of the nuances of how the cannabis and the cannabis industry are impacted within their space. So without further ado, let me introduce Rocco Petrelli, a new friend of mine from the national industry, who's here to share a little bit about risk management, mitigation, insurance, compliance, etc. But first, because one of the most important aspects of this, Rocco, is that everybody knows who's out there in the ecosphere to help them and who they are. Let's talk a little bit about you and your journey. Tell us about Rocco.
Thanks, Dimitri. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. As Dimitri said, I'm the chairman of the National Cannabis Risk Management Association. We're a not-for-profit association that was birthed about 3 years ago as a recognition of the need for risk management in any emerging market. I don't have a long history in cannabis. My history in cannabis formally stretches about across that same year period that I've been with the NCRMA effort. But I do have an extended history in risk management, as I spent the vast majority of my career first on the technical side and then on the management side of automotive component manufacturing businesses. And automotive component manufacturing, in a big way, parallels the needs in the cannabis market because it's all about compliance and it's all about risk management. And people say, well, I get this question from time to time when people understand my background. And they say, well, what do you know about risk management? And I said, well, let me put it to you simply. If a component that was coming from one of the plants that I was responsible for was then responsible for shutting down an engine or transmission line for example, the F-150 truck at Ford, either for a quality problem or a supply problem, my bill was $500,000 a day. So when you're staring at that type of liability, that you risk management becomes a way of life. And we backed ourselves up systemically with a number of proven processes and proven practices that I'm now very much enjoying being a part of transferring into the emerging cannabis market.
Excellent. Where are you based out of?
My home is in State College, Pennsylvania, which is the home of Penn State University. I describe myself as one of those guys that spent 4 years trying to get out of this town and 25 trying to get back. Finally made it back with an automotive opportunity to create the North American presence for a German-Austrian automotive firm. And my wife and I have vowed that we'll never leave. So our office for the NCRMA is actually headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Excellent.
Which is about 2.5 hours to the west. That is more out of, as you can understand, out of geographic expediency than it is really out of being in the core or central of any real cannabis market. Although the East is firing up quickly with recent activities, of course, in New England and now New Jersey and New York. But we've compensated for that by creating 6 regional office locations for the NCRMA across the country.
That's amazing. Who are the members? Obviously, our social equity applicants in Arizona are one of the first things they're going to need is insurance, and to speak to somebody, maybe they'll call you and you can direct them over to your membership and stuff. Or maybe you can answer the questions yourself if you're working in Arizona and can help them. What kind of members does the NCRMA have?
Well, first of all, Dimitri, we're definitely working in Arizona. We're active in all legal states,
Or I
and the
just meant
only,
personally,
pardon me. Oh, okay.
personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to go west any chance I get. So I'll
Okay.
jump on that
Oh,
opportunity.
yeah, I mean, New York, your focus might be New York. It's a giant market next year. So,
Right.
but
No, I understand your point, but we, we took uh, sort of a harder look at the what I'll call the plant producing vertical, and the large majority of risk management practices that we've put together in our platform is really geared towards the plant touching operations in the vertical, anywhere from cultivation to dispensary. But our membership is made up of really a strong cross section of both the members of that vertical, but also many of the ancillary businesses that support cannabis. Because I mean, there's always something to learn about the technology or the processes that your end customers are using. But for the most part, in terms of the platform that we've put together, the innovative risk management platform that we've developed, that is specifically focused at plant touching businesses. The association itself has over 3,000 members, and we're doing many exciting things with the association that I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk about.
all right, and the website is pretty robust, lots of good information on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only the NCRMA website, but that also branches out into two separate businesses that we can expand upon. Uh, we believe very strongly, for example, that our fundamentally our game changing rule is the fact that different than what is actually being presented in the cannabis market currently, is that insurance and risk management are not the same thing. Now, there's a strong set of messaging out there that indicates that if you have insurance, you really don't need risk management, but that's coming from the insurance people, and we fundamentally disagree with that, because risk management is a practice or a set of practices that lowers the probability or eliminates the possibility of a risk occurring. Insurance, for example, then is a risk transfer method that allows you to transfer some of the risk away from your business, typically through financial protection, if that particular risk isn't able to be properly mitigated or eliminated. And that's very important. And history has shown us over the years that emerging markets, none of which, at least in my lifetime, are as exciting as cannabis, truly find their sustainability by having a solid foundation of risk management. And that's something that's very much lacking in the cannabis industry today. So in setting up this innovatively disruptive platform, as we like to describe it, our initial plan was that our members could then employ that risk management education and consultation background and foundation that we provide them to work with the existing insurance capacity to come up with a then complete risk management strategy that included mitigation and then risk sharing or risk transfer. But enough of our members came back with the complaint that they were really dissatisfied with the availability of insurance in the cannabis market, that after hearing that any number of times, we took a very aggressive step, and what we did is we founded an association-owned, association-based mutual captive insurance company that is designed specifically for the NCRMA members and limited exclusively to those members that participate actively in the risk management that we provide. Taking that another step forward, and understanding that our real purpose was really never to be in the insurance business, but understanding that we're a very responsive company. And, we pride ourselves on responding to our members' needs and doing what we have to do to protect those members. We formed this insurance company, but we also realized that, even at best, given our real focus on best in class from a risk management standpoint now, typically our insurance company would possibly at some point in the future house about 5 to 8% of the market. And we said, fundamentally, we very much believe that the weak condition of risk management and insurance in cannabis truly threatens its longer term sustainability. What about the other 92 to 95%? So in August of this year, we called out the risk prevention services part of the NCRMA and launched a third and separate business that is the National Cannabis Risk Prevention Services Company. And what that company does, it provides the same services that we provide to the captive insurance members, but provides it to them without any continuing obligation to buy the insurance product or to belong to the captive.
Okay. Yeah, but this is actually fascinating stuff. I just want to throw in a personal story real quickly. We had an insurance claim back in at a cultivation back in 2015 when the AC broke and the plants fried. That was $140,000, and the insurance company didn't pay. How are you finding? You got any good stories in regards to insurance companies handling matters like that recently?
Well, we
haven't dealt with that, so.
we face that all the time. The most infamous story, of course, and unfortunately, because it's not known or realized by the holders of the policies, these situations still exist. But there are a number of examples of situations where brokers and agents sold insurance coverages to cannabis companies that included a cannabis exclusion.
What?
So you think you're buying property casualty insurance, but on page 76, item 4, line 2 of your policy, it excludes any business that is participating in the illegal cannabis market, which is not the illicit cannabis market, but the illegal from a federal guideline or statute. So, I hate to say it's human nature, but I don't consider myself this type of human. But looking at it from a capitalistic standpoint, the demand to supply ratio for insurance coverages and insurance products in cannabis is unhealthily imbalanced. There's much more demand than there is supply. Anytime you have that situation, the laws of economics teach us that what happens? Prices go up and quality goes down, and that's exactly what's taking place in the cannabis industry. And that's okay as long as there's not claims. But the more claims that there are, what's going to happen is those bad prices are going to get even worse, and the types of coverages are going to get even thinner. So we bring a very holistic approach to cannabis insurance by, number one, commanding the presence of risk management tools and education, and then by number two, we use a very holistic approach to underwriting. So we never promise a cannabis company lower premiums, but what we can promise are fairer premiums, because we underwrite basic to the risk, and there are no other factors that affect our underwriting. And we know we're in for a battle because we're the guys that people in cannabis right now think about last. They're the states have done I think a very poor job in terms of the timing pressure that they put these various licensees under to get their license active. And they've really put these business owners in a position where they don't have time to properly consider all of the things that are important to their business. And unfortunately, insurance, and then even below that, risk management typically falls to close to the bottom of that list of what gets their attention. So the mission statement of the NCRMA is to make our members better through education, support, and expertise. And we're out there doing that with a very capable assessment tool that is able to do an enterprise-wide risk assessment of any cannabis business
Mhm.
and create a framework really for the improvement of that business. And then we have also created an academy called the NCRM Academy, whose curriculum is developed explicitly upon the feedback from our members, as
Wow.
we have routinely asked them over the years, what are your biggest business risks? And from that, we've developed a virtual academy that has 8 different curricula across the top and over
Oh, wow.
35 courses that we offer for the education.
Oh, that's amazing. And that course would be free to anyone who mentions Dimitri Downing's name. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's right. That's right. And not only mentions it, but they have to spell it correctly.
Yeah. No, is there, I assume, is there a charge for that, or is that,
Well, I mean, it comes in, I mean, again, typically it is, so let me talk specifically how first the insurance program works and then how the risk prevention services program works. I mean, if you want to come in off the street and take this particular course and this particular curricula, yeah, you can do that. I mean, online payment, bang, you go in, take the course, you take a quiz, you get a certificate if you pass the quiz. Typically what we do on the insurance side is that we underwrite based on a simplified application and an active underwriting team, but then immediately upon binding of that insurance policy, we'll go into a business and we'll do this overall risk assessment, very thorough, very complex risk assessment that pretty much defines the risk profile of a business. Now, we don't hand a 50-page report to our members. We hand them a scorecard. And what that scorecard shows is in the different areas, in the different departments of their business, how they score relatively from a risk preparedness standpoint.
Hmm.
And then we use that scorecard to customize a syllabus of education and consultation that is designed to improve the risk scores that are low. And that's where a lot of these courses come into being. And then of course that type of education is of no charge to the member because they're already a member of a captive and a holder of the insurance. But the real key to it is that we'll use our same CRP squared risk assessment tool and we'll go back into a business after they've completed the education and maybe closer to their insurance renewal period. And we'll do another assessment. And if unequivocally now, if the risk score improves, nothing else changes, the premium will go down. So that's how the captive organization will continue to build best in class. So stepping outside of the obligation to buy an insurance, again, we start with the risk assessment.
mm-hmm.
And after the risk assessment is completed, we'll sit down with the management team of the particular cannabis business and we'll review it. And then we'll offer them those same services of education and consultation that will improve that risk score. They can use that risk score to buy insurance from us. They can use that risk score to buy insurance from other people. They can use that risk score to take to bankers or lending facilities or investors. But it really is, it's a strong measure because of its detail orientation. And the true foundation and focus is that it's focused only on cannabis businesses.
Yeah.
It tells a big story.
I love how you're willing to say, take it to somebody else. And I love people who are willing to say my product, my thoughts, my knowledge stands against my competitors. That speaks volumes about yourself and your organization.
Well, we really live by the theory of abundance as it applies to cannabis. And that is, I always say it's way too early for anybody in cannabis to talk about competitors because right now we're all in the process. Before you can split the pie up, you have to know how big the pie is, right? And anytime any of us do something good for the industry, we just make that pie bigger. Mm-hmm. So our play is do everything we can to maximize the size of the pie And then if it's big enough, there'll be enough to go around for everybody, and it'll be a much better market.
No, I like your thinking, and of course, you guys are providing free insurance and risk management for our social equity awardees in Arizona. I'm just kidding. I'm
Hey,
always challenging.
that's always a realm, that's always within the realm of opportunity. It's, everything I learned
Discount.
about business, I learned from either The Godfather or The Sopranos. So to quote Don Corleone, I'm a reasonable man.
Yeah, well, discounts at least, because I mean, this program is going to be watched by a lot of individuals and their social equity teams and their associates. They're going to say, well, why do I need to contact him? When do I need to contact him? And what's he going to offer me? And
And
that's
that's key because, people say, well, how does risk management tie into social equity? And it is through the sustainability channel. Because if you look at Webster's definition of sustainability, it highlights that sustainability is all about the capacity to endure. And I don't think there's any better example of endurance than the people who come from these these social positions who have been unfairly treated historically in our country. I mean, they have endured. And what we do is contribute to their ability to continue to endure by giving them a tool that is all about enduring through sustainability. So I hope you can see the connection that certainly we've
no,
made in our mind on how we support that cause.
yeah, and so yeah, and I also want. I mean, this is great. When should people reach out to you? So just I don't know if you know the timeline of our program. People are going to be watching these for the next few months. Licenses will be issued sometime between January and April of 2022. You're going to have 26 new licensee awardees be issued on one of those dates, a license. At that point, they may or may not have a plan. I hope if they do have a plan, they can consider all their other options as well, and they should explore it more. I'm not sure I would spend the time exploring uh, all the potential plans or investing money in plans prior to being awarded a license because only 26 of the 4,000 applicants are going to win. So the chances of victory are slim. So I think you got to focus your time on what's more likely. But certainly once you win, they got to after the night of celebrating, the morning they wake up. When should people reach out to you? How soon
Well,
after?
it's really, it's not after,
Okay.
Dimitri, it's before, because I don't have any real statistics, but we've seen examples of if you include, and some applications even call for it on the insurance side. But if you include references to a strong foundation of risk management, and then supply, for example, a letter of intent from an insurer to, based on things known and unknown, work with you to find the proper insurance for your business, that increases the chances of winning that license award. So
Rocco, and I know I'm with you on this because 99.9% of the other states have required this, and it improves exactly as you were saying. And I know you're familiar with other states. In Arizona, they decided to just do a lottery, and it's straight up. You check some boxes, you fill out the application, and then if you check all those boxes properly, you go into a lottery pool. So it might be news to you, and I'm not. I don't. The Arizona rules are still being drafted at this point, but that's what the final rules are. Looks like they're going to be here in the middle of September. So yeah, it's a little crazy.
well,
But
if it turns out that way, and I wish you much better fortune than Illinois with your lottery. Of course, you don't have the history of corruption that that state has either. So
yeah, Illinois is wild, and you and I are both used to competitive merit-based application processes, which, as you said, have good reason, but unfortunately or fortunately, Arizona is going to be a straight up lottery. So yeah,
So I'd say at that point, I mean, if that remains as the path, reach out to us immediately upon having that license, because I mean, what we advise, and we don't advise it because we sell the product, we advise it because of a risk management standpoint. But at very minimum, you should have GL premises coverage the minute that you have that license in your hand, because the minute that you have that license in your hand, you're in a position where you can start to assume liability.
What's
And
that? What's
then
the coverage?
it's called general liability and premises.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's one of the products that we offer out of Tricode, which is the insurance brand. But there are definitely examples, and I mean, I'll take this all the way back to my automotive experience. I mean, in automotive, for example, we apply risk. I mean, we apply risk management when we're designing a component and when we're designing the process that's going to be used to manufacture that component. And the same thing should hold true for a cannabis business. You need to be looking at risk management from day one, because it's going to impact and then have a payback or an RO rate of return on investment down the road if you make the right steps in what you put together. Because once you put it together and you're stuck with infrastructure or a bad seed to sales system or whatever the case may be, that's something you're going to live with for a long, long time. And it's going to be much more difficult to mitigate that risk profile than if you mitigate it up front.
I absolutely agree with you. And more importantly, you have, years of cannabis experience, years of risk management experience, and a whole association that you're working with to provide tons of information and knowledge for individuals upon victory, or even prior, because we're finding actually a lot of individuals, because they recognize the chances are slim. So they're saying, okay, I want to get involved with cannabis. I want to learn as much as possible. I want to meet as many people as possible. If I don't win a license, I'm going to look at my alternative options for manufacturing in different states, manufacturing in Arizona, cultivating in Oklahoma, becoming a C-suite or management somewhere. But they need to acquire knowledge, they need to learn. And your organization provides that as a resource, which we thank you for.
And not only do we have an internal staff that carries all of that different knowledge, but we also have a very active and capable group of service partners, all of which are subject matter experts in various areas of cannabis risk management that just subsidize our ability to bring a full solution to the table.
And that's great. And we like to, we do our best to educate about resources out there like yourself. It's like a snowball effect.
Sure.
So
sure.
this is fantastic.
And even if you just want to network and have a good time, we throw a hell of a party. So
hey, well, along those lines, what's your website again?
It's the NCRMA is www.ncrma.net.
Okay.
And risk prevention services is the same 3 W's.ncrps.com.
And your email will also be on our website. Just real quickly, are you going to MJ BizCon?
We are in full force.
You have a booth out there? What's your plans for MJ BizCon?
We do not have a booth. We're doing a couple of different things. We're participating in Associations Day.
Oh, look at that.
Which is second. Are you as well?
Oh, well, we were invited.
Okay.
I like to say that I invented the thing, actually. I've known the MJ BizCon guys for a long time, and I've been pushing that as an idea.
Yeah, we enjoyed that first experience, and I guess they've made some schematic improvements to it, so we're looking forward to that. We're also hosting, we're holding our first annual risk management influencers dinner, which is a private function, but we'll be giving awards to those that are perpetuating the need for risk management in cannabis. We have a couple of service partners on the floor that we'll be participating with, and then we'll be out in full force talking to the potential members and users of our product on the floor. So it'll be a full week for us.
You gave me a great idea, Rocco, and this is how my mind works, and then we just do things. We're actually going to send out, because October 19th is that Associations Day.
Yeah.
We're going to send out an email announcing Associations Day to all those individuals who we've touched in the social equity community, encouraging to go to that day so they can get information from yourself and the other organizations that are there. And I'm going to challenge MJ BizCon to make sure that all these people get free passes for that day, if nothing else. So we will get that done over
You
the
need a
next.
partner? You need a partner?
I'll CC you on the emails, and we'll
Sure.
see. Rocco and I thought of the idea that all the social equity applicants from Arizona should get free passes to MJ BizCon. What say you, MJ BizCon?
I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's all about that theory of abundance, right? We all have an obligation to do certain things to make the pie bigger. And there's no more effort that's more important than social equity at the front end. So I want to personally congratulate you for what you've done in that area.
No, I appreciate that. We're getting better. We're evolving, which is really good. So we've got your email on the website. We've provided a lot of information, introduced you to the community. Gonna be at MJ BizCon. We're gonna have a booth there, 20 by 40 booth on the floor. Come
Great.
visit us, say hello. Mita will be there. Yeah, and any closing thoughts? And then we're gonna wrap this up and put it online.
Well, again, it just to stay consistent with what our initial our initial core idea and competency was, and it's only expanded because I mean 3 years ago that we can make a claim that we were the only true operationally plant touching risk management association in cannabis. And it felt good to be able to say that then, but it's a little concerning now that we can still say it. And the big message is just do the math and try to envision a world in cannabis where proper insurance coverages are not available at any price and coverages aren't able to be secured. And just think about what that does to all of the exciting growth and long-term sustainability that we associate with the word cannabis. And I think that speaks volumes in terms of, the need to support our mission and more importantly, put our practices at work in your business.
Yeah, no, Rocco, this has been great. I am now a more informed, better networked human being because of this meeting. So it's been my honor to host you and introduce you to more members of our growing cannabis community. And we'll see you at MJ.
Very much appreciated. We've just recently opened an NCRMA office in Phoenix. So we'll have to do more together.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll talk offline.
Right.
But it's Social Equity World. Until next time, this is Dimitri Downing and Rocco signing off. And we'll see you at MJ BizCon.
Thank you.